Next up on our list of gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia, we're going to talk about Enki. So Enki, along with Anu and Enlil, was one of the big three. And a lot of the tales that are associated with Enki eventually get associated with Marduk as the culture changes over time. And when Babylon comes to power, a lot of things that Enki did were given the credit was given to his son. But still, we're talking about Enki here. So, for example, let's see, where do I start with my notes? Okay, first off, all of the gods have um, numerology to them, and Enki's number is 40. And so, in one of the tales, he's thought of as the twin brother of Adar slash Ninib. He's the son of Anu, but then kind of, is seated like next to him. His consort is Ninki, and he's the Lord of the Earth. But like, if you try to translate his name, N is Lord, Ki is Earth, but it could also kind of delineate to Lord of what is below, and and a couple of other terms. He's the god of wisdom, magic, mischief, crafts, and creation. He's the father of Marduk. I believe I said that. He's also known as Ea, which is simply just the letters EA. He's associated with the southern band of constellations, and originally the planet Mercury was identified with Enki. Um, Ea means house of water, and I mentioned this one, mentioned that one. So there's several tales of Enki basically getting a bunch of the goddesses drunk and having his way with them, bearing and so they give birth to many different gods and goddesses and stuff. Um, let's see, such as let's see, where do I start with this list here? Hmm. Yep. Ninsitu, Nintula, Abu, Ninkazi, Nanshe, Azimua, Amshag, Ninti, Marduk, Enbelulu, Asarluhi, and Adapa, which is, well, us. Well, Adapa was the original Adam, and if I check my other source here for just a second, um, yeah. So in the tale of Enki and Ninma, he Ninma is basically charged with the task, Enki and Ninma are, of creating a worker force, and they try several different things to create a working class of beings, and in the tales they try one and the mouth is messed up. They try one and he can't see out of one of his eyes, and so Enki's like, you know what? Let me try something. So he molds up some clay and stuff, and then he puts it in her womb, and boom, we get Adapa, which was the first man. Now, Adapa is one of like the seven antediluvian sages, which basically means he was kind of like almost like a demigod almost. You know, just one of the first men, one of the first creations. My laptop's doing that funny thing with color again. I don't know what it is. Looks a little bit darker and spookier. Eh. Um, so yeah, so in that sense, in those tales, he's credited with creating man. Although as culture changes and when Babylon rose to power, that was eventually also given to Marduk. Let me just switch back over to my other page here. Um, so 6 generations of the gods passed before Enki charges with Marduk, killing Tiamat and Apsu. So we're going back in time a little bit, but so after a bunch of the gods are made, and this is before man is made, they enjoy their time for a good while until, um, you, Tiamat and Apsu get pissed at the elder gods for making too much noise, and then they're like, oh crap, what do we do? So Enki, um, brings his son forth, and they have that whole thing, which is found in the Enuma Elish, where Marduk is charged with, if you take out the ancient ones, then you can have the top seat. Um, Enki asked by his mother Namu to create servants. Oh yeah, here we go with the Adapa thing. Enki was asked by his mother Namu to create servants, and he creates them from clay and blood and Ninma's help. Um, there's another interesting tale here where Inanna steals the May from him, and and basically tricks him into getting absolutely wasted and steals the May from him. Now, you could check out my other video on the Sumerian May, and that's spelled M-E. And the May are the divine laws. Now, I think that these are different than the Tablets of Destiny, which I will probably eventually, when I get enough info, make a video on, because the Tablets of Destiny is pretty much the it's like Infinity Stones almost. For those of you guys that have seen Infinity War or any of the Marvel movies, blah blah blah. Enki's involvement in other myths, and there's tons of them anyway, but I'm just highlighting a few of them. In Inanna's descent, when she goes down into the underworld and Ereshkigal captures her and kills her and all that, Enki ends up sending two of his servants to bring the water of life and food of life to resurrect her. And his temple, which is Absu, that's E-Absu, which can translate to House of the Cosmic Waters, in Eridu. That's where his main center of worship was. And some scholars also equate him with Yahweh, interestingly enough, and I'll tell you why. So when I talked about Enlil before in one of my other videos on gods and goddesses, the previous one on this list, I believe, Enlil was pissed off at humanity for making too much damn noise because we like to party and whatever. So Enlil, being the storm god and whatnot, hold on, he decides to make a flood, right? And Enki's like, but I made these people. I like them. I want to keep them. So he goes down to the guy that in today's world we call him Noah, but his name translates to he whose days are long. I believe I mentioned it in the other video. But anyway, Enki taking the role of telling him to build an ark and all that stuff and whatnot. That's what Yahweh does in the in the Old Testament, the Bible, whatnot. So it's interesting that Yahweh is given credit for something that Enki did. And on a side note, anybody that thinks that Enki is Lucifer, get off my channel. Period. Okay, that whole thing is ridiculous. Enki is very benevolent to mankind. He created us and he saved us. So I don't see how you can equate that with Lucifer or whatever. And I do understand the whole Lucifer Lightbringer thing, and it's not exactly the Lucifers of that Lucifer Satan junk that Christianity likes to babble about. I get that, but Enki is not Lucifer. End of story. I mean, Lucifer's the Lightbringer, right? This dude's all about magic, mischief, and water. Okay, a little bit different there. So yeah, I ranted a bit. Let's see. Oh, his symbolism is the goatfish, which is kind of interesting. I think that's pretty cool, and that's actually one of the constellations. That's what they called one of the constellations, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. And yeah, Enki is also called to assist it with exorcisms, like my Lamadou Dingir manuscript. When I added the Surfu tablets in there, that have some prayers of exorcism and whatnot that kind of go along with the Maklu tablets. There is a prayer to Enki for asking for forgiveness and such. So I have seen that as contextual fact. I mean, I read that when I was doing research and whatnot, but it is fact that he was called on to assist in exorcisms and things like that. So anyway, that's all that I got for Enki. If I'm able to dig up some more, I might even make a part 2 to him, because I could probably talk about a whole bunch of his tales and whatnot if I get the time to make a video. I'm just trying to keep up with my schedule and stuff. So let me know what you guys think about this, and you can always let me know in the comments, or you can shoot me an email at priestofthenecro@gmail.com. If you're interested in any of my other playlists, you can find them on my channel. I have this Gods and Goddesses playlist. I have my General Magic playlist, my Simon Necronomicon playlist, my Theories of Magic playlist, my Magic in the Media playlist, which I'm going to add to, my playlist on stones and tulpomancy, and my random playlist. And I'm probably missing one or two, but you can check them out on my channel, and there's a couple of them that will be displayed at the end of this at the end of the video. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the playlist for my books, and those are above my head. I have Magical Theater, Guide to the Spheres and Beyond, Magical Mechanics, and Handy Sigil Magic, and there's soon to be a 5th book, which I'm like 60-something pages in. Although when this book comes out, when this video comes out, I'll probably have a bunch more pages in it. Anyway, I love doing stuff ahead of time. So yeah, you guys can find a link to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Magickology down in the description, as well as a link to my Amazon author page where you can check out my books and a description and a little bit of a writer's biography. Yeah. So let me know what you think, like, share, and whatnot, and good hunting.